Imagine feeling in your soul the weight of a numeral etched in bronze, as if that simple X or V were far more than just a number. In every legion beat a collective heart, an identity forged in the fire of epic battles and nourished by generations of veterans. Today you will discover how a Roman legion's name transformed ordinary recruits into brothers in arms and shaped the fate of a ruthless empire. But have you ever stopped to wonder why, instead of merely marching, a soldier would risk his life to defend a standard, perhaps out of pride, perhaps for fear of losing his connection to something greater? A legion's number could separate comrades who once clinked goblets together in taverns and even spark violent rivalries in times of peace. In this script, guided by the careers of Julius Caesar, Augustus, Marcus Aurelius, and legionaries like Publius Decimus, you will understand the system, the ritual, and the mystique behind Roman military identity. Stay with us until the end to learn why certain numbers were forever banished from Rome's army and what that reveals about the pride of a conquering nation. But before we dive into these stories and curiosities of the Roman Empire, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and have hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our videos full of secrets and surprises about ancient Rome. Throughout this video, you'll see how a single number, from I to X alphabet, became the true soul of each Roman legion, guarding secrets that still inflame Rome's legend today. The soul of a legend, pride, community, and memory. On a foggy dawn in Gaul, young Publius Decimus raises his eyes to the silvered standard of Legio Ex Equestris, created by Caesar in 61 BC. It's more than metal. Each fold of cloth and every scar on the bronze embodies centuries of glory. Originally named Ex Gemina, it was renamed Equestris after mounting elite cavalry troops, an honor that carried the prestige of Rome's horsemen. Older soldiers, clad in lorica segmentata, streaked by battles in Gaul, Britannia, and Hispania, reverently touched the golden eagle, or Aquila, guarded by a signifer. This sacred emblem conferred iura legionis, exclusive legal and religious rights, whose loss amounted to irreparable dishonor. Protecting the Aquila wasn't optional. It was a matter of life or death, for its capture could demoralize the entire unit. Gaius Valerianus, a centurion who marched with Caesar at Pharsalus, 48 BC, recalls the shine in recruits' eyes on their first approach. "You feel part of something greater," he would say, striking his ornamented shield. In that moment, the concept of a Roman legion transcended mere tactics. A sense of belonging was born that no spoils of war or personal honors could ever buy. In the shadow of the eternal city's walls, Marcus Aquila recounts how his grandfather, a veteran of the X, on moonlit nights would proudly retell each victory over the Nervi and during the crossing of the Rubicon. For the Aquila family, bearing the X on their chest was as important as possessing a noble cognomen. It was a narrative inheritance, alive in every surge of pride and memory. But how did this supernatural bond between name and number originate? Let's go back in time to the very beginnings of republican numbering. Internal conflicts, pride that survives war. When Caesar and Pompey ignited the civil war, 49-45 BC, not even Rome's streets escaped legionary fury. Former comrades who had fought side by side in Gaul became mortal rivals, veterans of 14T. Gemina, founded by Caesar in 57 BC and reorganized by Augustus after the Teutoburg disaster, and the Batavian cohorts, elite auxiliaries recruited from the Batavi tribe on the Rhine, known for their discipline. In Lutetia, modern Paris, these men faced off in fistfights and gladius duels, leaving behind old camaraderie for a pride that overshadowed loyalty itself. Publius Decimus, newly enlisted in 14th of Gemina, witnessed bloody duels during a public display where centurions and signifers, bronze staffs and colorful sashes in hand, traded insults and blows. "They are no longer our brothers," they panted. That numeral ceased to be mere identification. It became a banner of honor and of hatred, impossible to ignore. These clashes illustrate how, even after the civil wars, rancor lingered in forts and along roads. 14th Gemina, stationed on the Danube, and the Batavian cohorts, integrated into the Praetorian Guard, avoided fraternizing at public baths, festivals, and games. Generals and senators exploited these rivalries to reaffirm their authority, granting privileges to one side or the other, deepening resentment. Gaius Valerianus, a Pharsalus veteran, recalls that after hostilities ceased, entire families avoided crossing the same streets. Even the Temple of Mars Ultor in the Forum of Actium became the scene of scuffles, proving that attachment to a name and number could wound Rome's social cohesion itself. If pride spawned internal wars, how did these units gain authority and legitimacy before the Senate? The origins, republican numbering logic. In the late 4th century BC, Rome still relied on ad hoc armies. In every crisis, up to 4 legions, numbered I through I-Phi, were raised under the annually elected consuls. When the war ended, the legions were disbanded, and the men returned to civilian life. Their standards, symbols, and numbers were stored away, ready to be reborn in the next conflict without any continuity. This practice yielded a functional army, but devoid of lasting emotional bonds. A legion's number meant only its order of creation, not a permanent unit identity. Publius Decimus, poring over Livy's chronicles, learns that each patrician consul personally led 2 of those legions, underscoring the political significance of their original numbers. Yet at campaign's end, the First Samnite Legion dissolved completely. That First Legion of one war bore no relation to the First Legion of the next. Thus, the numeral functioned as a mere chronological label, lacking emotional ties or veteran-to-recruit traditions. This system confined military identity to the present. Celebrated victories faded with the camp's tents, and defeats left no emotional imprint for future deployments. The numeral's utility lay solely in organization. No standard cults, no eagles revered in shrines, no rites of passage. Victory or loss mattered little. What counted was quickly raising and disbanding forces. But what turned a legion into true legionaries of Rome? The answer lies in the granting of citizenship and the state's legal seal. Citizenship and legitimacy, the fight for an official number. Not all Roman army units received an official number. During the Republic and early Empire, groups formed by non-citizen auxiliaries, such as Legio Alaudii, raised by Gaius Marius in 52 BC, chiefly Gauls, and Legio Pontica, levied by Mark Antony in Bithynia around 38 BC, fought without the Justa Legio seal. Their standards lacked numerals, because only legions legally sanctioned by Roman magistrates could bear a number and the golden eagle, symbols of martial prowess and status. Marcus Aquila recounts a solemn ceremony at the Temple of Jupiter Capitolinus, where the Senate formally granted the Alaudae, the numeral 5, and Roman citizenship. In the presence of praetors, tribunes, and fellow veterans, the newly minted V. Alaudae legionaries received the right to wear the Lorica segmentata, celebrate triumphal games in Rome, and settle in colonial lands with tax exemptions. From that moment, a legion's number became more than administrative shorthand. It signified membership in Rome's civic body, conferring prestige and legal benefits, like shares in war spoils and provincial land grants. Wearing the V on one's breast marked the transition from non-citizen to full Roman, reinforcing collective pride and internal cohesion. With this legitimacy, the legions grew in size, experience, and loyalty. Yet the abundance of titles and privileges also bred political tensions. Rival commanders clamored to found new units, fought over coveted numbers, and occasional revolts erupted as veterans demanded reformation of disbanded legions. With legitimacy secured, the legions thrived, but chaos loomed in Caesar's civil war. Brace yourself for the upheaval. Chaos and attachment in Caesar's civil war. On January 10, 49 BC, when Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, he not only defied the Senate, but shattered the old system of numbering legions furfore. Instead of disbanding his troops at campaigns, Caesar retained veteran legions and raised new ones en masse, numbering them all the way to Silpus across Gaul, Hispania, and Italy. This expanding roster reflected the urgent need for loyal soldiers in an unpredictable civil war, where each number came to bear not only chronological order, but the weight of betrayed alliances. Gaius Valerianus, centurion of Equestris, recalls, hearing Caesar declare, "To me, this legion is worth 10. By preserving the nickname Equestris, honoring its mounted origins, Caesar instilled in veterans an unprecedented sense of nostalgia and loyalty. This act sparked the earliest attachments to a legion's number. Publius Decimus, newly promoted to optio, was amazed to see seasoned soldiers refuse land grants and bonuses that came with renumbering. Their silent protest proved that for many, a numeral held the power of the soul, more priceless than any material reward. And if I told you that this apparent chaos was, in fact, the spark that ignited the most disciplined army Rome ever fielded? If you've already felt the power of a simple number, leave a like and follow me to discover how this turmoil forged Augustus's professional legions. Augustus and the professionalization of the army. At the dawn of the Principate, Octavian, renamed Augustus in 27 BC, consolidated his rule after defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra at Actium, 31 BC. He inherited an army of about 60 legions, many temporary or redundant. To secure Rome's frontiers and guarantee loyalty, he reorganized the forces into 28 permanent legions, numbered Vi through Dextixvate, replacing seasonal levies with a standing, professional corps. To fund this standing army, Augustus established the Aerarium Militare, a military treasury financed by an inheritance tax. This fund provided pensions and land grants to veterans after 16 years of service, attracting recruits, retaining experienced soldiers, and strengthening legionary cohesion. Marcus Aquila, now Primus Pilus of Texu Augusta, describes how veterans, nearing retirement, taught rituals, marching songs, and battle lore to new recruits. This annual rotation preserved discipline and ensured that each young soldier absorbed the living traditions and hard-won lessons of his elders. Publius Decimus, serving as optio, observed that legions like I Germanica, stationed along the Rhine and Ninth Hispana, celebrated for its campaigns in Britain, became guardians of entire provinces. They adopted local customs, blending Roman military ethos with regional practices to forge unique unit cultures. Yet even a professional army had its excesses. Duplicate numbers, multiple V and X legions, caused administrative confusion. Numeric, taboos from Teutoburg kept 67, 68, and 99 forever retired. And later, emperors' personal levies strained the new chronological order. But even in a regularized service, irregularities surfaced. Duplicate numbers, numeric taboos, and unprecedented precedents. Duplicate numbers and numeric taboos. Despite Augustus's reforms, some numeric duplications persisted. There were 3 ex-legions, ex-gemina, ex-fretensis, and ex-legionis, deployed in Hispania, Judea, and Egypt, and 2 Thade legions, Thane Gemina and Thane Lugdunensis, stationed in different provinces. For historians, this multiplicity poses epigraphic puzzles. For legionaries, it was a source of pride and occasional camp-to-camp confusion over payroll and orders. However, after the Teutoburg forest disaster, 9 AD, when 17 Sustite and Daitavith legions were ambushed and annihilated along the Weser River by Germanic tribes, Julio-Claudian and Flavian emperors never resurrected those numbers. This voluntary erasure became a military taboo echoed in archaeology. No inscriptions or standards of legions Citizenship appear thereafter. The absence speaks to the symbolic power of a defeated numeral, avoided for centuries in speeches, monuments, and campaign rosters. Publius Decimus recalls that in the Finta Claudia, stationed in Pannonia, marching songs never uttered 17, as if speaking the number summoned vengeful Germanic spirits. This superstition gripped camps and fortresses, enforcing strict adherence to name taboos. This numeric rejection contrasts with later emperors' eagerness to raise personal legions, spawning new duplicates and testing chronological uniformity. Yet the legacy of Teutoburg preserved the taboo, reminding all that some numerals bore the stain of an irreversible defeat. Beyond numbers, each legion developed its own life through local traditions. Local traditions and garrison culture, Legio III, Gallica, founded by Julius Caesar in 49 BC and honored Gallica after serving in Gaul 58-50 BC, was posted in Syria under Nero 54-68 AD. Stationed at Raphanea in the Horan Plain, its soldiers absorbed regional rituals into daily life, blending faith and martial discipline. At dawn, officers and troops formed a semicircle outside the camp gate, raising arms to greet the rising sun. Borrowed from Zoroastrian sun worship and Anatolian Mithraic rites, the synchronized gesture unified devotion to the solar deity with psychological tactics. Enemies mistook the display for incoming reinforcements and held their ground in awe. By the Marcomannic Wars, 166-180 AD, Sol Invictus worship became official, and the salute a formal unit ritual. One sweltering night, Captain Gaius Valerianus ordered absolute silence. As dawn's first light glinted off polished helmets, Arab tribes nearby, spooked by the unexpected glare, withdrew without firing a shot. Afterward, Marcus Aquila, Primus Pilus, around 120 AD, commissioned a mural inside the camp, silvered eagle and all, immortalizing the event on stone walls. Each August 10th, 3rd, Gallica celebrated its Natalis Legionis, the Legion's foundation, anniversary. Veterans sang Latin hymns and danced to Eastern flutes, honoring Mars, Mithras, and the reigning emperor, whose name, Augusta, featured on their standard in tribute to Marcus Aurelius. Beyond local customs, many standards bore the names of gods and emperors. Next, we'll explore the evolution of legionary titles. The evolution of names, from regions to gods. Legions such as I Italica and Second Germanica bore geographic titles that signaled their origins or greatest triumphs. I Italica, raised by Domitian in 82 AD, with recruits from Boeotia, embodied provincial pride. Nacar Germanica, established by Drusus in 9 BC to guard the Rhine, carried Germanica as testament to Rome's dominance over Alpine tribes. Some units earned divine epithets. 15. Apollinaris, formed by Octavian in 41 BC, acquired Apollinaris, after a vow to Apollo before marching against the Parthians, linking the legion's fortunes to divine favor. In 82 AD, Domitian's I Minervia embraced Minerva, goddess of wisdom and war, merging piety and strategy under a sacred banner. Unique titles wove myth into military identity. Toon, Fulminata, lightning bearers, survived a thunderstorm that inundated its camp during the Marcomannic Wars, interpreted as supernatural protection. Valaudae, raised by Marius in 52 BC with Gallic recruits, nicknamed Larks for the crested feathers on their helmets, fused Celtic flair with Roman order. This progression from geographic markers to divine dedications and legendary feats, demonstrates how Rome used its legions to project power and ideology. Each title carried stories that transcended the battlefield, bolstering symbolic authority and unit cohesion. After centuries of glory, our journey nears its end, but the legacy endures, onward to the conclusion. Legacy and tradition, glory etched in stone. Along the Danubian limes, frontier veterans carved marble tombstones bearing their legion's name and number, immortalizing valor. In Vindobona, modern Vienna, archaeologists uncovered Hic Cetus est, Publius Decimus, Centurio Fifalaudai, Fidelis usque ad finem. Here lies Publius Decimus, centurion of Via Laudai, faithful to the end. Each epitaph served as a public testament, the legion's name in relief alongside the eagle emblem, briefly summarizing the soldier's career to ensure memory and honor. In Danubian colonies, veterans' campaign networks, informal bonds of ex-comrades, helped sons and grandsons secure posts in the same units. This military patronage created multi-generational legionary dynasties, reinforcing the view that serving Rome was both destiny and privilege. In cities like Aquincum and Mogontiacum, mosaics and temple reliefs of Mars and Augustus depicted marching legions, immortalizing their victories. Trajan's column famously portrays Tu Germanica and XXX Ulpia Victrix, illustrating the pride each numeral inspired. This cult of the legionnaire transcended death. Memory was given a stage of stone and bronze, each tombstone a history lesson for posterity. When we gaze upon triumphal arches, columns, and mosaics in the Roman Forum, we witness not just architectural feats, but souls united under a name and number. The true power of a legion's name and of Roman military identity was, and remains, the ability to forge unbreakable bonds and perpetuate a legacy that echoes to this day, reminding us that for Rome, every number was a promise of eternity. If you enjoyed this journey through time and crave more fascinating stories, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next exploration of ancient Rome's grand empire.